This generation of kids are going to be the leaders of the country in the years to come.
The show is called Generation Next.
Generation Next, that's essentially about
today's generation and the problems that we're facing today.
It's about, this upcoming generation of kids.
It's called Generation Next.
There are too many demands on the person right now.
This is a new generation that looks at the problems facing this country differently than any American generation before.
Basically, we're trying to design a show that's catered towards the members.
It touches on the heavy requirement of people in everyday life now.
Average college student, they're texting somebody with one hand, they're eating a microwave bean burrito with the other, they're aiming somebody, they're checking their Facebook updates, and they're writing their 10-page term paper all at the same time while drinking a Coke, and it's just like...
It just takes too much. These days it just takes too much.
So Generation Next came up as this idea of what is basically the future and what can these kids do?
They're just born to multitask, really.
So the show is essentially a way of bringing that concept to our realm of marching percussion.
And the idea that we thought about all summer long is like, well, we obviously have to push this ensemble a lot.
This show is the hardest show I have ever seen.
John and Ian wrote probably a show that's about twice as hard as last year.
Every single part of the ensemble, the standard has been raised.
I think that was the biggest challenge, was to figure out how to outdo ourselves as designers and writers and as teachers.
The musical demands of the show are incredibly high.
The whole idea this year was just to come out swinging. If we're going to defend the title, we got to come out swinging, and we got to be nonstop the whole time.
When you have to sit and watch 20 independent world drumlines, it's like what sticks out, what's memorable.
There are 3 stick tosses in the show in the first 45 seconds.
We spend the first minute of our show playing with one stick.
The kids are all on cell phones, which they always are anyways, during rehearsal even. It's like, put your phone away. But that's kind of the whole joke.
No one just sits and studies anymore. Everyone's multitasking and no one's staying focused on what they got to do.
They are able to do all of these things at one time. And you can bounce a book on top of your head and still play and still catch it. And guess what? They're not breaking a sweat doing it. So it's something that might not have even been possible 10 years ago. It's just kids and actually the activity have really matured and come a long way in this new generation.
There's always something else going on. It's never just straight up marching band.
In this third segment we have, it's all about the older generation looking and judging the younger generation.
The older drum corps, snare drummer mentality of, kids these days, they're just running around, they're dancing, they're just doing all this stuff. They're not just standing still and playing drums like we used to do. Like, the snare lines don't just come out and just play clean and just nail it.
There's a line that says, I miss the days when people used to just stand still and lay it out there. It's like, hey, we can do that too. We can do that.
And I do think the fact that we're doing original music for the activity